just throwing this out there for the podcast here. If you were a professional burglar, say you're gonna break into somebody's house, what's the one thing you would take to just annoy the piss out of somebody? Is piss? I just said piss. Is piss fine?
Yeah.
Okay, piss.
It's this movie
Now I'm
takes
saying
place
it
in
too much.
London. So.
Yeah, it does. It does take place in London. So, what is the one thing you would steal from somebody's house if you were a
Just take the
professional
piss.
burglar to take the piss?
Not really. Take the okay.
Hold on, you went robot mode, Karreem. So I'm gonna go first.
In it.
There's one of my favorite live action shows is Malcolm in the Middle, and there's an episode where I think the mom forgot Dewey's birthday or something like that. Like something really pissed Dewey off, and instead of like throwing a tantrum or talking about it, he just went full blown passive aggressive and started fucking with the mom in all these little ways. Like he would take one button off of her blouse. Like he would move things. And by the end of the episode, she just started screaming. I was like, Dewey, I know you're out there. I know you're listening. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. Give me one knock if you understand. If we can have a truce. And he knocked. But like as the audience, you don't see him. You just saw her flipping out, and then you hear the knock because he was definitely messing with her the whole time. Like, like he would cut, God. Like he cut like one sleeve short or something like that. What are you doing, Karreem?
Nothing. I'm just here.
I thought my cat was in here. She's not.
Are you shuffling cards?
No, I'm really just sitting here.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I would do something like that. I think I would take one button off of all of their button-up shirts. Not even the top button. It would be like a middle one.
I feel like
bottom one.
I feel like that's valid. Like I thought of sort of a similar thing where you just kind of find the most important things to take, but one sock from just two sets of socks is too subtle. But then taking all of the teaspoons.
What if it's like a measuring set, and you just take all
you slip that one out,
the quarter tablespoons or whatever.
Yep, just take them. You in the middle of cooking, you were like, okay, I know I have 4 of them and they are constantly dirty, but there's none now. What the hell's going on?
Karreem?
I think I'll just take all the forks.
It's all the forks. You know what would drive me crazy? If you took all my forks and replaced them with 3-time forks.
I like a good four-tang heavy fork. I don't even want. I should not get into that. I will talk too long about the weight of silverware.
3 though, I think. What is that? Is that a fish fork? I don't know, but the 3-time fork. Get
3
that
just
shit
looks
out my
weird.
house.
3 just looks so strange.
It's not practical enough. Anyway, I guess maybe if I was like picking the meat off of fish, but you know, I don't eat boned-in fish.
It's like one of those thin joints with a short handle.
But yeah, like that's something that just irks me, and I can't even fully explain why. But thank you for joining us today. If this is your first time with us, we're the secret group of brown kids. Who are the secret group of brown kids? Well, it's a secret. But you might be able to find us following the podcast on Twitter and whatever podcast platform you listen to us on, because seriously, like, subscribe, please.
Come on. That
sounded very sad.
You know you wanna.
It helps us out. But anyway, I'm Tiff, and on the panel today we got Tim and Karreem's back from his hiatus.
I had things happening. There was stuff going on. Yeah.
It was his birthday. We shouted him out. He won't know that though, but we shouted him out.
Well, I sometimes listen.
I appreciate you. I hope you had fun.
I did. It was a good day.
And today we are starting our Christopher Nolan miniseries. Already on our second miniseries. Look at that. We did Wes Anderson. Now we're doing Christopher Nolan because Oppenheimer is coming out next month. So I said, let's do a Christopher Nolan miniseries and do some of his movies that are grounded in realism. Because like he has this like high sci-fi movies, high concept sci-fi movies, but then he also has movies that aren't sci-fi, like Oppenheimer, whatever. So I said, let's do some of his grounded movies. And we're starting with Following, which is his first movie, very first. Like, I don't even know if it came out in theaters or not. I mean, I guess it did, but it had a budget of
It
six.
did.
I don't
Oh
know. It came
wow.
out at festivals, but there's a box office for it.
Oh
It
wow.
made $48,000, and he filmed it on $6,000.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess somebody was paying for it somewhere, right? But yeah, 1998, a crime mystery thriller that follows a young writer who follows people around the streets of London to gather writing material, gets caught up in a criminal underworld plot.
That's a creeper.
So,
He was a creeper.
would you consider this neo noir?
I do.
Pretty on the head, and currently streaming on Tubi.
This is only the first time I've used Tubi.
Yeah, so like I'm not going to say it's a hidden gem because it's kind of getting popular now, or it's getting popular for at least with black folks.
They just need a commercial like Tubi. It don't cost nothing.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's getting popular because the movies are so bad they're fun to watch because they're
but
so
like
horribly bad.
those are the Tubi originals, and that's because they're like indie flicks that anybody can make.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll put it on our platform if you let us slap an original title on it. I don't know if they get paid off of it or not, but it's already a free service, and like nobody else was about to pick up this movie, so
Just throw the secret group of brown kids musical on there. These
hey,
motherfuckers like movies. These motherfuckers like shows.
look, I feel like they'll take anything that isn't just straight up like porn. Maybe that's the only thing I haven't seen up there. Not that I was looking, but I'm just saying. But like,
I got questions.
no, you don't. But there's a lot of actually good movies and movies you've heard of up there. It's just so random because like some might only be up there for a month and then they'll disappear again, but some stay up there for a while. But yeah,
It's like if you're watching a random TV channel on a weekend and that random old movie of the weekend came on
Mm-hmm.
and
hey, I think the most recent movie I've seen up there was maybe 2 years old that was in theaters, and I was like, dang, Tubi stepping it up. But I think whatever they do, they're really smart about it. Maybe it's like maybe they're somehow they look and see what movies aren't being licensed by anybody else, and then they probably are like, hey, can we have it?
it's not a bad idea.
You ain't doing nothing with that movie, right?
Yeah, like
Let
They
me see.
must
Let me
they
see that.
must stay on Netflix's website. Now we're gonna get whatever y'all drop.
and
That's
maybe like that's why some stuff only lasts a few weeks up there
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, they're in between real platforms, so we'll take it for now.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's a smart way to work it.
yeah. Also, like, there's also Pluto TV and like Samsung TV. I feel like they all kind of the same thing. They might literally be the same thing. I don't know, but they all kind of operate the same way, like Tubi, and just yeah. Anyway, shout out Tubi. It's free. I recommend getting an account just so you can save your progress because the
Yeah, that's a
commercials
good
are
idea.
unskippable.
give
Yeah.
us our check, Tubi.
our first sponsor. You know what? I'm gonna tweet them, see what happens. But yeah, so
Tubi hook us up. We don't know what you can give us because everything free, but say hey.
we get a little commercial bump. Hey. But yeah,
Y'all watch the Leprechaun on Tubi. Say yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, it stars nobody ever heard of. Actually, Lucy Russell, I think, is the only one who went on to have an actual acting career.
Okay.
Jeremy Theobald, the main dude, he only popped up as like tiny parts in a few other Christopher Nolan movies, and Alex Haw just straight up never acted again. He like got a real job.
As
oh
a
no,
burglar?
I think he's like an
Just-
architect or
just-
something.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang. Okay, so like a
And
job.
critic
So,
score
a job.
82%, audience score
Oh, he work. Oh,
85.
he working at
How
a
do you feel
grocery
about
store.
that? You say he working at a grocery store.
That's it.
Oh
Hey,
man.
85.
Yeah, audience.
Out of
Critics
what?
82. Out of 100, man.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
get okay, before we get into our how we feel about it, we already know how Karreem feel about it. But real quick, shout out Ren and shout out Mauricio. It's their birthday today.
Hey,
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy 23rd.
Yeah, so moving forward, we're going to spoil the movie. If you haven't seen it, it's free on Tubi, and it's literally like an hour and 6 minutes or something. So just
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a quick one.
it didn't feel quick to me in the good way, maybe
No,
to Kareem in a bad way.
it
But like I felt like
it was a little draggy.
I
but
felt
it was-
content afterwards. I'll put it that
Mhm.
way. Like it felt like a
It
whole
was
movie.
fine.
Let's go ahead and start with the problem child. Kareem, how do you feel about it?
Why am I the problem child? This is because I tell truths about movies.
It's because you have red hair and you know Jack Tripper.
But no, it was dry to me. It was dry, and then so blah and bland, and there was one or two interesting parts, which I'm sure Tiffron don't want to get into because certain order of things. But it was just dry to me. It felt like a 2 hour movie.
God damn.
Because I felt stuck. I was. Are we still here?
Did you care about
Oh.
any part of it?
The rooftop part, the rooftop fight was the only thing I found semi interesting
Literally though.
because I giggled so hard at that fight. Y'all, this is
Okay, at least there's something.
it was
I will
hilarious.
I will say that's the kind of fight where I expected somebody to come over like y'all stupid. Get up. Cut it out.
Oh, and how he was following people, I was weak because you just out there. You're
Yeah,
not even trying.
He didn't even try to like hide behind a tree. He was just doing it.
He's just right behind you. He just
And he looked not Alex. Alex is his real name. Cobb. Cobb even
Dead
says
look
it
at
at
him.
some point. Like you look, you look
it's like
like
if he
a
stopped, he
weirdo.
would have bumped into you. Just
Someone turn around twice and see you. They know what's up. But yeah, Tim.
From the jump when the movie started in the where he was like explaining how he got along, I was like, all right, is this guy in a mental institution or is he talking to just who is this guy talking to, what's going on exactly? From the jump though, I was like, he's already semi narrating. This is if this didn't already go sideways, something will. I was
Yeah.
immediately, I won't say I was drawn in, but I was like, this guy is going to mess up several times in the next hour and 8 minutes. He's going to do so many mistakes.
which he did.
Yeah. This is my second time watching it. First time, I don't remember when, but I remember liking it the first time. But then going in the second time, it was long enough that I didn't really remember all the details. Like I knew generally like what happens, but like the specifics was, I was like, hold up. I know there's like a twist in there, but I forgot exactly what happened. But it kept my attention the whole time, and I like it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good actually. I don't know about dry. It was dry in like the British sense, like dry humor.
I love British movies, but this one was hard. It was difficult.
I even thought it was funny. Like
Cheerio, pip pip, isn't it?
Like it wasn't like a straight up comedy, but just how Cobb the nigga man, like he would just be insulting this dude to his face, and and
The way he went off about his after dinner coffee.
man, he was pissed. Like
I was, he was so
that's
he was
three
so
parts.
upset.
That's 3 parts.
So
You
you done
enjoyed three
messed up my
parts.
whole night.
He was like, look. He was like, "Look, calm yourself. Like, I love this is a good meal. I love getting through good meals. I hate having to get up from good meals. Let me enjoy my meal." And like, nah, dude was flipping out. He's like, "Nah, she's gonna recognize. She's gonna recognize." He's like, "Fuck it, let's go." You know what? Fuck you. Like, I was looking forward to this shit.
You messed up my whole meal. You messed
He
it
was-
all up.
So he was waiting all week for this restaurant.
He was like, we got to go. Come on.
He was waiting
But
all
yeah,
week for the secret pop up
we'll
to
come back to
open.
this part because it was.
Got there, I couldn't enjoy the whole thing. He was irate.
But yeah, so
Speaking of eating, that there was a scene where he was typing and eating the hardest burnt breakfast I've ever. I don't think was that on purpose because he was sawing into that. I thought was bacon, but like, what bacon is that tough that you can't
was it
cut
on
through
purpose, bruh? That's just British cuisine.
If it's not boiled, it's burned.
Like I'm
And
not
then
even.
when he chewed on it, it was so loud and crunchy, and he struggled so hard. You could
Also,
tell he was supposed to eat more, but he couldn't do it. He just cut the scene. Nope, we're done. We're done.
homeboy poor. He probably got like the old stale bread on a discount. Like you, man, why are you shaming him?
Because he ain't got no job.
He got no shit.
Poor don't mean you eating cinder block bacon.
Look, that's what he got.
You do what you can with what you have.
I was.
But yeah, let's get into it. So film starts out with the guy explaining or narrating to some old guy, right? About how he started playing a game with himself where he'd follow people. And initially there were rules. Don't follow for too long. Don't follow down dark alleys after dark. And if you find out where someone lives or works, you can't follow them again. But then he started breaking his own rules, right?
Quick.
Yeah.
Burger King. Sometimes you got to break the rules.
He started following this dude in a suit around. And then one day he was sitting at a diner drinking some coffee, and the dude in the suit comes in and sits at his table and asks him, like, "Hey, why you been following me?"
Caught. Just caught.
So immediately he just starts like lying and shit, right? He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about."
Not even a good lie.
Not even a good lie. He wouldn't even
You
look
got
the dude in the face.
that would have been the moment you just bail. You
just
be like,
run
you
out.
got me. I'm not gonna follow you anymore. I'll leave you be.
I mean, but at that point, you know, I mean, we'll get into it. But yeah, like he's just a pathetic. That's the word I'm looking for. Pathetic.
Genuinely.
And Cobb tells him that several times. So the man figures out with the quickness that he tells Cobb his name is Bill, which is obviously like a lie, but you know that's all we got to go on. So
Yeah.
he tells him his name is Bill, and Cobb figures out just by like the little chat they had that like he's unemployed and he's interested in people because he follows them around. So like, why else would you be following people around if you're not like curious about them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Cobb shows Bill what's in his bag, and like it's just a bunch of CDs and stuff. And Cobb's like, "Yeah, I'm a serial burglar." Now he realizes that like Bill is like kind of intrigued. So he was like, "Why don't you come along, you know, on a burgle with me?" Is that the right term? A burgle?
I kept having
That's
to.
what they were saying.
I kept having to like double check myself on that too. But yeah, we'll just go with Burgle.
Yeah, they
They
went
kept
on a
saying
burgle.
it. A burgle.
Yeah, so in the first apartment they hit, Bill learns that the material gains from these crimes seem to be like of secondary importance to Cobb, and he takes pleasure in rifling through people's personal shit. and he likes drinking their wine though. uh, and like Cobb explains that for him, it's really about using like the shock of robbery and violation of property to like get the victims to re-examine their lives.
Which is like, bro,
Yeah, like you on a whole different level with this. Uh,
he
it's
he
like
says he want to mess with people.
it's like an
No, I
existential
want
Robin Hood. Like
I want people to grow. I want you to learn.
doing this for you. Just wanted you to know I could touch you. But he tells Bill his philosophy is you take it away and you show them what they had.
mm.
So, but while they're in there though,
That's very funny later, by the way.
yeah, we're gonna get into like all the Nolanisms,
Oh
but
yes.
he usually foreshadows, but like in a real subtle way that you'll catch like either at the end or on like a second watch. It's like
One of the
shit.
things wasn't very subtle, but I'll save that for later. I picked up on it and was about gagged, about flipped out. But let's keep going. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. So while they're in there, the woman who lives there abruptly comes home, and like Cobb bullshits her about thinking that the flat was for sale or whatever, something like that, right? And like
Mhm.
him and Bill, they hurry up and they run up to the roof, and they go and they laugh about it, and like Bill's kind of freaking out, like, oh my god, like she caught us, and Cobb's like, hey, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. And he's like, what you talking about? And he's like, did you realize that the guy she was with didn't talk? And what are
Yo.
they doing home in the middle of the day? That's not her husband. Like she was probably up to no good anyway.
He
Look,
reached for that. That
No, that was a good read.
look,
That was a damn good read because
the
she was
way
like,
he reads people is insane.
she
'Cause
wasn't as
yeah,
concerned with them being in the house as much as she was like of being caught.
like
It was
yeah,
kind of clear. I
yeah.
was surprised.
Like she should have been madder that these men are in
Yeah.
her house, but it was more like I think he said something like she was kind of relieved it wasn't her husband. Like
Mhm.
so there was this conflicting thing where she was just a little confused, but like her reaction wasn't right. It wasn't the way it should have been.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Cobb tells Bill, or I can't remember if Cobb tells him to, or if Bill asks if he could like pick the next place or something like that.
Oh yeah. He kind of was like, we're having a little fun. Why don't you try this out? Yeah.
Yeah. So you scope someplace out, and I guess they're kind of like arguing, not arguing, but like debating on like what type of house is good to hit. And Cobb was like, "Well, you scope the next one out, since if that'll make you more comfortable or something like that, right?" And this dude, Bill, Bill brings Cobb to an apartment that he said he had scoped out. But if you were paying attention, you'd realize that that was his apartment.
It was very. I saw the typewriter and was immediately like,
Mhm.
"Is this a flash forward where he
I
stole
was
that
weak.
typewriter, or is this
Mhm.
his place? Oh damn, this is his
This
place."
is his place, and
I
it's like
said, wait a minute.
it's like he wanted Cobb to like tell him about himself.
Mm-hmm.
And Cobb, obviously, Cobb knew that this was his spot.
He probably followed him there already.
He probably did.
Oh yeah, he did.
But this is my moment. This is the one I was waiting for. It's like you can tell how someone lives from their apartment, and if you take their shit, you can fuck with them. And what does Cobb do? Ain't nothing of value in this bitch. Let's go.
he insults his music, and then he's like,
He's-
"Really? Like
he
what? This is the
really
place you
insulted
picked
his
out?
music.
Like what the fuck is wrong with you? We
I
out."
was hurt for him. I
I
was
was
like,
like,
oh,
damn. Oh no.
okay, all right.
Make note of that though, that he insults his music, right? So
Ugh.
oh, also on his apartment, there's a Batman logo sticker.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, and
Foreshadowing, but
yeah,
way early.
it's like there's no way he would have known this early, right? But Christopher Nolan directed, the Dark Knight trilogy, so it's just funny that like, hey,
You have to wonder if he just was like, Batman's pretty cool.
hey,
What a
like
Batman.
as
Yeah,
we go further through the Nolan movies, you'll realize that he has like an obsession with time. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
he knows something. Maybe he found the Tesseract and went back in time and sent himself to anyway. Uh,
Dr. Manhattan style. He's just existing in
in
multiple
all
time frames.
at the same time.
This
That's
is going
funny.
to sound weird, but do not poke me in the butt in 15 minutes. What? Just don't do it. I can't explain it or it won't happen.
But yeah, so pretty soon Bill starts dressing like Cobb, and he cuts his hair and he starts calling himself Daniel Lloyd because Cobb gives him a credit card that had the name D Lloyd on it. And like Cobb tells him, just because you're a burglar doesn't mean you have to look like a burglar.
Yeah.
Because he was already like talking shit about him anyway. And like that's like the line that makes Bill change his appearance. So basically he starts looking and dressing like Cobb because you can tell he already idolizes him, right?
It's
Even
like
though like
so,
Cobb's kind of a
it's
dick.
the only cool person he knows at the time. So
Shit, it's the only person he might know. Like the dude was
Well, somebody's talking to me. Oh my god.
I got a friend.
we already knew he thought he was cool just from when he was stalking him, right? Just because he broke his
Mhm.
rules for him. So
Yeah.
he was already like super interested in the guy. And at some point we also see him steal CDs. And this is what I was talking about. And I think it was because Cobb insulted his music taste.
Yeah.
So when they do another burgle,
A job.
and then when they do another job, yeah,
A
you
hit.
see Bill
Whichever.
steal CDs because Cobb done hurt his feelings about his music.
I gotta upgrade my musical tastes.
Yeah, he also steals books because Cobb said something about like you can tell how interesting a person is based on their books. And he's also said that everybody has a box that they keep little trinkets in. And Bill didn't have a box, so he just stole somebody else's box.
Yeah, that felt weird. It's like, homie, you don't have mementos. Maybe you just needed to get out more.
Do I have a box?
I mean, I don't have a box, but I definitely have trinkets.
You gotta have some sort
Yeah.
of little mementos. Like I got little Ursula. She just right here. There's a lot more, but that's the
It's
only
funny
one.
because she looks like she's waving. Like
Yeah, she's like little sweet Ursula.
she's
I
right
bet y'all
here.
ain't got one of these
Hey,
motherfuckers. Y'all ain't got this.
a Jar Jar.
Y'all back off. Black actors.
Shout out to Med Best. But yeah, the film's timeline isn't exactly linear, so there's like it splices in clips from like the future, and it jumps back and forth.
Yeah.
But there's parts where we see Bill like already like post transformation when he still hasn't met Cobb yet. But like it's not really confusing, or maybe to me. Yeah, I can't really talk because I saw the movie twice. What about y'all?
It took me a little bit to realize that there were like going to be so many time jumps. And
Yeah.
at first I thought, okay, we're definitely starting at the end. He's going to tell the story, but the movie is moving the way you would tell a story
Yeah,
if you were
it's
trying to give somebody like backstory on how something happened. Because it just kind of jumps forward and then it jumps back to this piece that is important for you to know, then comes back, meanders through a little bit here and there.
oh yeah.
It took a
You
little
don't
bit to
realize
figure
it
out.
starts at the ending.
Hmm.
Yeah, you just think he's like, "Hey, I'm telling the story, and now we're going to see the story he's telling." But
You
like,
can
the
kind of
beginning is
tell
the end.
where he's like what part of the story you're at, depending
Yeah,
on Bill's clothing, facial hair, uh, level of distress.
yeah. I wonder at what point did Nolan come up with the idea that I'm going to sprinkle in like we're going to jump forward and backwards because the movie took, even though it was only $6,000 budget, the movie took over a year to film because they would only film on Saturdays because everybody had full-time jobs.
That's
Just between like setting up the shot and doing all that stuff, they'd only really get like 15 minutes of filming done,
oh my
which honestly is
god.
how it works. Like you whole day and it's
Yeah,
just all for like a single shot. Yeah.
that's true. I've uh, oh, it's a short. I'll make this a short story. I had to sit in a restaurant as a accidental extra for Dawson's Creek. They
Cycling back to the CW shows.
the restaurant, a lot of Wilmington stuff is CW stuff, but the restaurant was the main restaurant from Dawson's Creek. They needed to do some
I don't
quick,
want to wait.
exactly. They needed to do some last minute like stuff. So they literally came in, they talked to the owner, and the owner comes up, everybody here, if anybody could get have my attention for a moment. This is some of the crew from Dawson's Creek. they need to refilm a few things. It should only take, and she like whispers to them and they whisper back, they should only take about 20 minutes, but they're willing to pay for all of your food.
Oh,
So
that's
it's on
nice.
the house. You just kind of don't, you can't talk very much, and you just need to stay still for a little bit. This shit took 45 minutes for them to get together the way they want it, and then another 20 or 30 of them just kind of stop, bring this in here, we need this, we need a lights changing outside, we need to set up. Like, it was a straight up hour and something. And I would have been really, really fantastically like, yeah, my food was free, but I didn't have any money at the time and had only ordered a French fry plate.
No.
So I'm like, I didn't get nothing out of this. Thankfully, the lady came back around. She goes, you only got French fries. Like, they finally finished up. She's like, you only got French fries. You get a hamburger. And I was like, what? She's like, get something. So I got I think I got like a shrimp basket.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
I was like, yeah. And I took it to go. And I was like, well, I did sit around for 2 hours trying to figure. It wasn't even like the high, like the famous cast from Dawson's Creek. It was just like some background people who had to like a minute of It was probably like 8 seconds of fucking footage they got out of that whole ordeal.
It
Where
was
it's just
the
like, Pacey hates you. I don't care because I don't like Pacey. Next
I forgot
scene.
what they call it, but it was like the B team or whatever, like the assistant
Yeah.
director was getting the auxiliary shots or whatever.
So we just need to get these last few shots. Or the
I'm
show
glad you got
doesn't
that
need-
shrimp basket because
Yeah.
man, did they tell you not to finish your food?
No, you had to like not eat the food.
That's
like,
what I thought. So them fries were dumb
like
cold.
the closer you were, the worse off you probably were. I was kind of in the back, and I would just occasionally just like, I don't even
I
know what
only had fries, I would have been so mad.
I don't know what episode or anything, because I never looked back to find anything about it, and it could have been stuff that didn't even make it into it the way they did that show sometimes. But I was so far away from the main thing that there's no way I'm in a shot.
I'm really curious, but ain't no way I'm about to go through 7 seasons of Dawson's Creek to find
Absolutely not.
you in the background.
You just see me like just for a split second, like
sneak a fry.
It's nowhere like that episode of Community where they made fun of that. It's nothing like that at all.
Oh.
All right, so where we when the lights went out? I think we were just talking about Bill and his proclivity towards thinking he needs to be cool. Oh yeah, like the timeline not being linear was like one of the things.
Yeah. So it jumps back and forth, and the thing we're talking about, I think I posed a question like, at what point did Christopher Nolan decided to make it non-linear?
That's like a solid, really big choice to make.
Because he definitely did it in like post, like in the editing phase. Because
it definitely could have been linear.
They would have filmed linear because dude cut his hair.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he had to keep cutting his hair because it took place over a year, right?
Good point.
I didn't think about it
committed
until
to
now.
this haircut.
Yeah.
Hope you like it short, dummy.
You see him cut his own hair, and then like later on, you see it actually look nice, and I was like, "Ain't no way."
That was another part. I was like, "Wait,
not this dude."
Wait, because he was hacking away at it, and then he came out looking like Brad Pitt. I said, "Hold on."
Like not this dude. Maybe Ryan Gosling can cut his hair. No, not this dude.
Look, like a whole different actor for a second.
If Cobb said he cut his own hair, I believe it, but not Bill.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. If Cobb was like, I cut my own hair all the time, I'd be like, he could be lying, but I believe it.
That nigga smooth. But Bill?
He didn't even use a razor. He just looked in the mirror and went, done. Lady's like, you look good, Cobb.
He just threw some water on his hair and went outside and it looked nice.
LL Cobb, Jay. Oh, the lady.
Oh yeah, the blonde. Spliced in clips from like later on in the story, and there's also parts where we see Bill after his transformation going after a blonde woman he had followed previously to a bar after him and Cobb had burgled her flat. And even though like he approached her in the bar and she said that her gangster boyfriend owned the bar and he's like sitting over there in the corner, she still gave him a little play. Like she was like, say something to me. And she slapped shit out of him. And she was like, meet me outside in 10 minutes.
Meet me outside. Meet
Say
me
something dirty
outside.
to me.
So he was like what? Pow. That might be one of my favorite parts.
She said, she leaned to him and she said, "Say, what did the 5 fingers say to the face?"
What? A slap. So yeah, and at some point she tells him her boyfriend is a gangster, and how him and his goons killed a man in their flat. Actually, we had typed down apartment, and then I went back and replaced the word apartment with flat. So I was like, hey, this is England.
Gotta be authentic.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
In it. They killed a man in their flat, and like he bled out on the carpet.
Oof.
And she says, "This is why you don't," or Bill says, "This is why you don't go out with him anymore, isn't it?"
No shit.
In it.
In it.
No, and she says, "No, it's because you made a mess of my carpet." And he's like, "You're joking with me," and she's like, "No." So then Blondie tells him that the gangster boyfriend, who they call the bald guy, is blackmailing her with like incriminating photos or risque photos.
Yeah.
And he keeps them in a safe that he has in the back of his bar. So here comes Bill the Simp. And I don't even like using that word, but Bill the Simp.
Who I look like Bobo the Simp.
Because he was the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's even a part where, or we're not there yet, but I'll bring it up when we get there. Oh no, we're there now. Bill meets with Cobb on a rooftop, and he tells him his plan to break into the safe for his lady friend. And Cobb gets pissed off, and he starts snapping about like, for you to tell her that you're going to do this plan, you would have had to told her that you're a burglar. And so he starts beating the shit out of Bill. This is Kareem's part.
Rooftop battle. This is because they would end. They
Look,
were
Round
they were a tussling. They
Bill versus Cobb.
But Bill wasn't even getting any hits in.
No, he was getting rocked.
Like they rolled around and stuff, but it was Cobb getting all the hits in, right?
Okay, this is the first fight where I saw people roll around on the ground without actually rolling around on the ground. It's because they tried so hard not to commit. Like I can't get my clothes dirty. Hold on. Let's practice this.
Look, the budget was $6,000. Those were their own clothes. Like Nolan couldn't afford to replace that pea coat.
No.
He said the look, don't shove me too hard. Hold on. It's dirty up here.
New Millennium Tournament.
Wait,
Don't mess up
wait.
your peacoat. Round 1.
Hold on. Put a sheet down. This is
Oof.
Oh man.
No, they were authentic enough, but it was very much like no. Don't get too much dirt on your knees. We might have to redo this shot.
Yep.
We can't clean off your knees every time we have to redo this shot.
And they would cut just before like the hits would land. Like I can't like we don't got insurance, like, or I mean I'm thinking like an American. In England they got healthcare, right? I don't know. This is 90s, whatever. Anyway, they fought. And like it's disrespectful because like anytime you see somebody fight and they do some real nasty shit, it's usually like they spit on them or something.
Yeah.
Right? Freaking Cobb takes his gloves off and shoves them in Bill's mouth.
Yeah, he like just shoves a rubber glove up his mouth. Like, take how that tastes. Like, what did you do?
You're gonna need this.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was disrespectful.
I remember what I was
going to
say. This is when Cobb asked him if he slept with her yet. And Bill was like, yeah, I did. No, he didn't.
You know I did.
So, because he was like, wait, you about to go on a mission for this chick? How long you been dating her? And he's like, a little while. He's like, y'all slept together yet? Yeah. I don't think it happened, right? I mean, we don't see it happen.
I touched a boob before. Yeah.
I've been around the block.
I've done things.
You're a virgin, aren't you? No, I'm not. But
virgin? Would a virgin dress like this? Yes. Have you been to the mall?
Oh man, like it was strong middle school energy.
Aw.
But yeah, so Bill goes through with the bar burglary anyway, and while he's in there, like, there's also money in the safe, and while he takes the money, he's trying to strap it to like under to hide under his clothes. Some dude walks in, and Bill mollywops him with a hammer, and then runs out. But yeah, so he whops him with a hammer and he runs out. I thought dude was dead, but he didn't die. He just
Yeah.
yeah.
He just
Anyway,
he got clocked.
so Bill goes to Blondie's house and he confronts her because though he promised not to open the envelope with the photos in it, or he tells her that it
They
was
were just
open and they
open.
fell out, but really he looked anyway. But there were pictures of just random models and not of her. So he's like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, I thought you said he was blackmailing you with pictures of you."
I thought I was gonna see some naked photos, man.
Yeah.
Man.
So Blondie comes clean and tells him the truth, tells him everything, or at least from her point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Cobb came across a dead old woman battered to death on one of his robberies, and then he ran off, but someone saw him, and then the police grabbed him for questioning, and he told them that they must have him confused with another burglar he knew that did things the same way. So he hatched a scheme to find a decoy that could take the fall off of him, or at least like cast enough confusion that he still wouldn't get arrested, right? And he noticed Bill following him for days before he actually approached him. So that means like Bill was following him, and then he said that he started following Bill. But think about it,
He said, "Aha, a sucker."
like you got this whole game where you follow people, and then you don't even realize when the people you follow are following you back.
Mm.
That's
Once
like
again,
that's like what's that game called? Team Fortress. Like two spies just circling.
poor pathetic Bill. So yeah, he was trying to make Bill into the decoy because he noticed that he was sad and lonely and impressionable. So he befriended him and got him into the burglary shenanigans, and he taught him how everything operates. Right? Then they could trick him into doing a burglary where he gets caught, and that would be enough to cast doubt on Cobb, and then Cobb would be off the hook for the murder that he didn't commit anyway. Right? But the main thing was trying to get Bill to the point where he operated the same way when he did the burglaries. So Bill's pissed off, and like he admits that the police didn't get him, but some dude came in and he caught the hammer in the process, right?
Yeah.
But he's like panicking. But so he collects himself a little bit and he tells Blondie that he was going to go to the police in the morning and confess everything. And she's like, "Yeah, don't do that." And he's like, "No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you can help like corroborate my story or whatever." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that." Bill just leaves, but he left the hammer.
Yeah.
Idiot. Which is wild because he went home first and he looked at the pictures home. Then he went to Blondie's house
At some
A
point, you
and
think
he
he would have
took
realized he
the
didn't have that
hammer
joint.
with him.
A sucker.
So now we jump back to the beginning of the movie, and the old guy that Bill's talking to is actually the police. Side note, the actor is John Nolan, Christopher Nolan's uncle.
Oh, okay. I know I saw Nolan in the credits, but I didn't pay it as much attention.
Yeah. And he's already
Side
like
note
an
to your side note,
established
I didn't know
actor.
Christopher Nolan was a
Brit.
British.
So here's the wild thing about it is his brother usually collabs with him on a lot of stuff and like helps like they co-write things together. His brother also like I think he was a showrunner for Westworld or co-showrunner. Jonathan Nolan. If you hear them talk, Christopher has a British accent and John has an American accent. And it's like, hold up, I thought they were brothers. So Jonathan was raised in America.
Oh, that's just weird.
Yeah, there's a whole thing. Yeah, anyway. Weird, right? So yeah, so he's confessing to the police. The police tells him like, "Yo, so I hear what you're saying, but you see we don't actually have any unsolved murders of old ladies at the present. There's no such ongoing investigation, and we don't know who this Mr. Caballers is." Like Bill's like, "Huh?" And at the same time, we see Cobb in Blondie's apartment, and he and he asks about Bill's hammer, and like he takes it out and he tells her that the bald guy knew that she was keeping the bloody carpet to blackmail him, and that he actually works for the bald guy, and he sent him there to tie up the loose end, and then he attacks her with the hammer. And it cuts back to police station, and Bill asks the policeman like if they talked to Blondie, and the officer is like, "Yeah, we found her body this morning." And Bill's like, "What?" Yeah, and we also found the hammer used to bludgeon her to death, and it also was the hammer that was used in the bar robbery. And like Bill's like,
that's where that connects.
yeah,
I didn't think about that. Old Kyle went and slid up and got that hammer.
That's the only reach in the movie for me. It's not a plot hole; it's just a reach because
it kind of feels like a reach.
Why did it make sense? But the only thing that bugs me is Bill brought the hammer to Blondie's house. Now, we already established he's an idiot, so that kind of explains itself. But I was like, this guy's such a fucking idiot. You done brought the murder weapon.
That movie could have ended with the Curb Your Enthusiasm music, and it would have been fine. Just like, it's like, yeah, we found her body this morning, killed with the hammer that you were using. That was used to hit that man, and just Bill looking like directly off into camera 3, like, boom, 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 just damn, boom, boom. It's just like, shut the fuck up. How did you mess this up so bad?
Oh man, fucking idiot. Yeah, so he tells him that they found the body and the hammer, and they also found the stuff that Bill had taken from her apartment when they first burgled her house, which included wasn't some underwear taken too.
Yeah.
So it just looked real bad for Bill.
Horrible.
And then he was like, we also found that this guy, D. Lloyd, had gone on holiday, and he came back and he found his house burgled, and his new credit card was missing from the mail. The same credit card that Cobb gave Bill and told him to sign the back of it. And he's like, is this your handwriting?
Yeah, but Cobb told me to do that.
And he's like, who the hell is Cobb? So all the evidence points to Bill, and Bill's like, yeah, but Cobb told me. And they're like, who the fuck? It don't matter. We got you dead to rights. It's funny because Cobb pulled him in by showing him what's in his bag, and Bill got left holding the bag. So the final shot in the movie is Cobb walking out into a crowd, and then someone walks past the camera, and then he's gone.
Cobb gone.
So Bill's a fucking idiot. Do you feel sorry for him at all?
Well, no, because he started off a creeper.
The only time I felt like a little bad was literally when Cobb showed up, because okay, little TMI about TIM, and that phrase came off the tongue too quickly because I've said it before. I don't know, during a depressed time in my life, I was living in Ohio. That should tell you everything. I decided to get into people watching, so I just sit in the mall and people watch.
It's a thing.
Pro tip.
You was a stalker?
No, I never actually followed anyone like this
just
guy.
Looking, you ever just look at people?
But pro tip: get yourself a book and a pair of sunglasses, and then you could just chill. Don't be turning your head; it looks weird.
Yeah,
but
you gotta use your eyes.
But much like Cobb, one day this lady walking by goes, "Sunglasses while you read," and I was like, well, I can't do this no more. I thought I had it all figured out, and I was like, nope. Okay, cool.
Her brain probably didn't go to your people watching. Her brain was like, oh, you looking at ass.
She thought I was doing a lot more malicious stuff, and I was literally just kind of like, man, that guy got a stroller, got a kid walking with him, and a kid in the stroller. Oh, the kid in the stroller can walk. They need to get rid of that stroller. Just little stuff like that. It's like, oh, that's that girl again. She must work somewhere in here. It's too weird for her to be like going back and forth, but not be wearing comfortable clothes. Just dumb stuff. Just something to fill the time of like just not having like a decent job or like like being an American neat.
I never like went out purposely just to people watch, but we'd usually do it if we were out to dinner
Mm-hmm.
and like go like, hey, what's their story over there?
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's just like I remember if you scroll back through my Facebook or something, you can find a picture I took because the couple across from us, this shit is like burned into my memory. The couple across from us were the woman. They're sitting across from each other, and the woman. I don't know why white people love to be bare feet so much, but her feet were out of her shoes, and where were they? They were stretched. Her legs were stretched across under the table, and her feet were cradling her husband's crotch. And like, it's funny because we hate same side booth sitters. Like, we think it's obnoxious. Like,
Let's
y'all
want to
out
talk
on
to
it.
somebody. They should just talk to somebody. You see
Yeah,
them.
y'all, you're
Yeah, they're
so
in love. What?
well,
What? They
nah,
want to
fuck
sit
that.
next to
Nah,
each other.
fuck that. That's no, like
What?
it's so anyway, that was the day that we decided to be same side booth sitters, or maybe we didn't have a choice. Like they gave us like the corner booth
Something like that.
thing, something like that, right? But for whatever reason, we were next to each other, so we were looking at the restaurant. So we were just looking at everybody, and they were the closest couple, and like she just was
Man.
just had her feet just cradling his crotch. I was like, yo,
Man.
we can't eat.
Mm-mm.
I'm not trying to see this shit.
Dirty. But yeah,
Yeah.
I took it a step too far and like got too into it, and this lady just called me out, and I was like, that's where Bill should have stopped, because that's where I stopped. I was
It's
like,
all
he
right.
gonna mess up.
Need to find the new game.
Yep. Time to go on a roof and like watch people and just stay where you at. None of this following people. I'm surprised somebody didn't gut check him by now.
Tell you what, people watching anime conventions just makes me
Oh.
mad.
Oh.
It's just gonna end with me yelling like, "Hey, nigga, wash your fucking hands." Like I remember every anime kid that was at a convention and went into the bathroom the same time I was in the bathroom, and then they walked out without washing their hands. I remember their faces.
No,
they go outside glomping and shit.
I gotta. Oh God, motherfucker said glomp. Oh no. Oh
Jesus.
no.
So some trivia. Obviously, this is Nolan's debut feature film. Nolan came up with the idea for the movie after he had his flat burgled. And this dude, he was like, I wonder what the burglars thought of me.
It's so ridiculous.
That's the thought process.
Yeah, that was his thought process. What? So I don't know if you remember, like one of my favorite memes is the damn bitch that's how you live.
Yes. I love that
The
one.
first time I saw it was Marie Kondo. Like they photoshopped her into like a messy room, and the caption was "Damn bitch, this how you live."
There's always that one that's like it's a Goofy son, which my brain went Goofy son and not Max.
Yeah.
Max, and it's he's just damn.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
the
that
girlfriend.
one.
Yeah,
I love that one because it's just like I've unfortunately walked into that room and literally been like, "Oh, this was a mistake. This was a mistake at my school."
I think Cerise complained about it more than I have, but we feel the same way. Like she's like, I can't stand when like girls be posting thirst traps or whatever.
The
Like, yeah, they
whole
might look good, but then like their house is a mess in the back.
the whole room looks like all hell bros loose.
And it's
But
funny
they
I'm
sitting there
saying
like,
that because look behind me, like.
No. Yeah, I was about to say.
Pot the kettle.
I even looked in the background of my game like, oh.
You camera
Fuck
not
yeah.
even on, and you.
It's like, oh, this ain't.
Oh
Yep.
man.
Let me move into another room and take that picture. Go into
Or
the hallway.
or like they take the selfie, the bathroom mirror selfie, but the mirror dirty.
Ugh. I think my least favorite one is like there'll be like somebody thirst trapping, bathroom mirror, the whole nine, and like just over in the corner you see just like one little kid. Those kill me because they'll just be like right in the frame, like just looking pathetic or trying to get you. They like reaching for her, or they got like a toy. It's just like, ma'am, I hope that's your little brother. I hope that's like your baby
Hey,
cousin.
he hungry.
I hope that little motherfucker ain't like, mommy, because like you just went from thirsty to sad.
Hey, I just cash app you some money. Go take go to some
Take
McDonald's.
that, get that motherfucker a grimace meal. It's on me.
It's his birthday.
It's Grima's birthday, and you deserve a milkshake that tastes exactly like Fruity Pebbles.
Y'all starting to sound like that comments off that TikTok where that girl's trying to sell her hair oil, and she
Oh
says
no!
she's gonna cut off her hair each day to show
Like, please stop
how
cutting
her
your
oil
hair.
helps.
I'll buy the oil. I'll buy the oil.
Yeah. It's, sister, stop.
Just
Please,
stop.
girl. That sounds so bad.
Just stop. I'm gonna buy the oil.
That's like kind of sad sounding. No.
Sister, stop.
Back to the movie. What was your favorite aspect of the film, Tim?
I'm gonna say the time component was a little weird at first, but I enjoyed it because, like I said, it felt very much like the way you would be telling a story to a person.
Yeah.
You would probably jump back and forth pretty regularly just because you're trying to keep up or you remember certain details. So it was pretty cool, I thought. Like the time travel or
Yeah.
the time skipping component of it. I hope that it was in the initial idea. I hope it was initially what he planned for and not just like he is sitting there editing and went, oh, that's in the wrong spot. Wait. I'm a genius.
Karreem, or I guess we already know.
Mm. It was a good bad movie to me. I mean,
What? Dang.
I honestly did not like it. It was I get that it was the first movie, but it was good for a first movie from somebody. I'll say that.
What about the writing? What about the writing? It was
The writing?
yeah, like it.
Uh
I like the twists and the turns. Like
the the dialogue between the characters was actually cool. That was not. I didn't feel like it was
they,
somebody's first time writing a script from
the
that.
dialogue,
Okay.
as in Cobb just ripping Bill to shreds.
No, that relationship. He did a great job of making that character look pathetic. He did do that. He did do that.
No,
The girl in the movie, I can't remember her name.
They none of them have names except for Cobb.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's why I was
But
calling her
no,
Blondie.
all of the blondes were super dry to me. I could do without them. That's just,
I got you.
I feel like they didn't add a whole lot to it, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a good. I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C.
Okay.
okay.
Because I can't say that it was a horrible movie. It was well put together. It did have a story that developed and ended.
It was just dry for you.
It was just stupid dry. It was just
Okay.
It's
All right.
dry. Even though even the rooftop fight was hilarious to
I'll
try.
say it. It was
It
there was
was
a slowness to it that was a little bit kind of weird at times. Like, but I think it was again to sort of like lull you into like everything seems alrightish.
Yeah, so yo, he's a burglar now. All right, and then
the food
but
was the best part.
everything that happens either set something up later on or it's getting paid off from something that got set up already. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like it was solid enough. Like the first burglary and the chick comes home and then the reason they have to leave the
The food
restaurant
was solid.
is because she came in
The food was
and
very solid.
well, Cobb didn't get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about the poor food that he was cooking?
Yeah.
Oh, picking up what you're putting down. I got you. But yeah, the chick that came in, caught them in the act earlier. She was why they had to leave the restaurant because Bill saw her and he was like, "She's gonna recognize us. She saw me. She saw me."
He
And
was
he's
ready to
like,
go.
"It's cool," because he was like, "Okay, is the guy with her the guy that we saw?" And he said, "No." He's like, "Oh, that must be your husband. She's not gonna
Hmm.
come up to us then because she, like I said, she was cheating."
Yeah,
So she
she
don't
don't
want to
need to
blow her spot up.
cause that drama.
Yeah, so we're good, and I could finish eating my food and get my coffee. But like Bill was spazzing.
I'm i I'm gonna do a TikTok edit of this whole movie, like all of the times that he should have realized shit was going down. I'm gonna get a lot of views because I'm gonna put it to that Project XXX.
Oh, the
Damn.
Lil Uzi.
Yeah,
That's that whole song. That's why.
that's there's like it. Not to even get into it too hard. That song is even shorter than it is because the whole song just repeats again.
Yeah,
The song is 48 seconds long. It just repeats the same thing that happened all over. I was like, man,
he
I
made it just to be in movie trailers. Like, like that's
mhm.
the only thing I could think of. Movie trailers or TikTok. I mean, everybody's favorite character is Cobb, though, so we don't gotta ask that question.
Cobb was for a villain. Cobb really had his thing going.
Yeah, like he and like every little thing, like down to the hammer. Like
Mhm.
no way he could have actually have predicted it, but him
The
having a
homie was like,
hammer,
"What would you take?" He's like, "I don't know, hammer, claw
yeah,
hammer,
a
good,
claw hammer,
real simple."
and then he really did keep the claw hammer on him. Like
I got that thing on me.
like everything Cobb said, like Bill listened and then acted on, and in the end, Cobb was like, "Yep, got him." But yeah. Any other thoughts?
I feel like it was really cruel of him to jump on his music tastes because his music tastes weren't that bad, and I'm not saying that because it was all stuff I like. I'm just trying to be fair and like open minded.
He said, "What's this? Pathetic.
He threw it on the floor. He literally threw it on the floor.
It's pathetic. What is this?
Oh man.
Trash. It's
But
garbage."
also I peeped that Bill had a picture of Marilyn Monroe on the wall and he went full simp mode for Blondie, who
Yep,
had the same hair.
real simple tastes.
Yeah.
Not helpful.
It would have been wild if like when we saw like the background if he got her to change her hair because he knew Bill liked Marilyn Monroe, but she already had that hair.
Yep.
So I really like I respect it. It's a really good like first movie. The only thing that really bugged me was like it started out with such shaky camera work, and that's
I
just a
was
personal thing.
I didn't think
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. I was worried that was going to continue.
Yeah, but it stopped pretty fast. But like
I think it was to set you off guard.
yeah,
I
Which
thought it was done on purpose though for
probably
the
probably was because that it was just the opening scene, and I was just like, oh,
mm,
I'm gonna throw up. But then it doesn't happen again because he obviously wrote it and directed it, but he also shot it. Like he was the one holding the camera,
mhm.
and he also partially edited it. So I mean, but that's usually how it works with like your first movie. So it had to be like a purposeful choice to just fucking shake that camera in the beginning. Oh my god! But it didn't stay that way, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
And like that's the only real critique I got.
I was glad everything had worked out.
Yeah. I thought the writing was pretty solid. I didn't figure the movie out, and not necessarily saying that that's like a bad. I know some people call movies trash if they figure it out.
I like if a twist seems like where they're going, because I'll just be like, Are you really gonna do this? Are you really doing it? They're doing it. I just get kind of get hyped sometimes. Like these motherfuckers really doing it.
I love that when it's a big swing.
Risky.
I don't want to say some of the movies because you might not have seen it. And that might be like a spoiler, but like sometimes they take a big swing. I was like, nah, ain't no way. Ain't they fucking doing it? And I'm like, I'm
It's
with
like
you.
that's risky. You really gonna do? They did it. Motherfuckers did it.
Those madmen, love him. Yeah, I thought the writing was good. It was solid. In the grand scheme of like ranking Christopher Nolan movies, it might be the bottom, but it's not a bad thing because like I remember like way back in the day when I was way more of a obnoxious Nolan fan, I'd be like, none of his movies are below a 7 on IMDb.
Oh my! Oh no!
But I chilled out since then.
I can't think if there was a director that I was ever like, I kind of got weird about Stephen Wright, but I don't think I like went nuts over it. The weird thing is I was like, oh, I really like Stephen Wright. These are cute movies. These are cool things. He's doing like cool stuff. And then he did Scott Pilgrim, and then he did Baby Driver. So I was like ahead of the curve on my own likes. It was kind of weird.
I got a lot actually, so I can't.
I think when I was a teenager, I really liked Spike Lee, not just because I was supposed to, but it was like all of the movies felt like entertaining, but like it was something I was a part of. It wasn't like
No,
watching 16
I'm
Candles and
backwards
being like,
on
those are
Spike Lee.
teenagers. I think those are teenagers, but they aren't
I
me.
I will admit it took me a second to get into Spike Lee.
I hated
I might
Spike
I
Lee as a kid, and you know
I
why?
might have been too young
You know
when
what
I
it
first
was?
saw him. What?
I was a Tarantino fanboy, and Spike didn't like Tarantino, so I was like, "Fuck Spike."
Oh wait.
Well,
He-
me
but
and a guy. It's funny you say that. Me and a guy. He was like Tarantino can run circles around Spike, and I was like, all right. So this weekend I will watch a Tarantino movie, and I want you to watch Bamboozled. And he came out of Bamboozled like, what the fuck did he? How did he get away with this? I was like, he didn't. The
he
movie
didn't.
kind of bombed, but he committed to it and he put it on film. He goes, this is so messed up. I was like, yeah, but you love messed up stuff. Because what do you mean I like messed up stuff? I was like, you like Tarantino. By the way, I watched Jackie Brown. And it was like he mashed up 8 movies that I already saw. Because that's what he does. We were still fighting.
I'm not so like I don't know what Spike movie like it finally clicked with me. I think it was
Was it
I remember
Crooklyn?
Inside Job, liking Inside Job, but that one was different from the rest of his movies.
Yeah.
So I can't count that. And then I think it was Miracle at St. Anna because people were shitting on it. And I watched it and I was like, yo, this is actually good. He just needed to cut out 20 more minutes.
Probably.
But it was good. I think Do the Right Thing was my next one. And I was like, okay, this is amazing.
If
Like,
he had to stand on one of his movies for the rest of his life, it could be that movie. Cause
yeah, it'll be Do the Right Thing. Yeah.
I think mine was Clockers.
Yeah.
Because Clockers brought me into Spike Lee.
I feel like I need to watch that again.
Yeah. Delroy Lindo.
I love that man. He was so good in Gone in 60 Seconds. Because everybody in that movie knew what that movie was supposed to be, and everybody was just like, "What's that term everybody uses? Really eating the scenery?
Eating the scenery, yeah.
Yeah, like everybody in that movie had a chance to do that.
Yep. I love the Nick Cage Gone in 60 Seconds. I don't think I saw the original because it was a remake, right?
The original's bad.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Maybe we could do Gone in 60 Seconds one a week.
All right.
I just realized we've been on tangents.
We'll do Tim's car weirdness. It's not the Gone to 60. It's not the fast thing. It's a different thing altogether.
A Tim Carr miniseries.
Y'all gotta watch Cars 3.
Let's do ratings.
All right. My general rating system is still, would I recommend it to a person and why? Overall, I think if a person liked film noir, but they didn't really like the hard boiled, like real old style stuff, they didn't want to watch, like, they want to watch something a little bit more modern. Definitely put this in that vein of things. They probably enjoy it. Give them something to kind of like think about. It's not too heady, but there's enough going on that you could kind of like wonder where the despair is coming from, which person is like the real foil. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who was into that kind of thing over a lot of movies that tried really hard to be noir. I don't even think this movie was
I think
aiming for that.
I think noir is hard though. Like it's like either you like it or you don't,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know. Like I think it can be off-putting for some folks. I
Definitely.
think I was one of the people it was off-putting for, but like there's
It's
some that
a
just
lot.
really work for me.
I think a lot of times people expect for the hero to win, and a lot of noir, you might kind of be still around at the end, but that doesn't mean that you won.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, like, a lot of people miss that. Like, every ending to Cyberpunk 2077 besides one is you almost, it's all right. This isn't the worst thing. And that's why I think Cyberpunk is just noir with neon.
Absolutely. Like you explained it to me, and like we are talking about the anime, and then you're like, yeah, the game does it too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's you're like, no, you thought, but no.
We should cause it's funny that his first two movies are noirs.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think about how Ryan Johnson's first movie is a noir. Dude who directed like Last Jedi. His first movie is Brick, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like that was
Brick.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that at
yeah.
all. I
I'll
do
see
know.
if
I
it's
feel like I
streaming
did hear
somewhere.
about it, but I have not.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder like how many other filmmakers started off with the genre.
It's interesting to think how some people that start dark are able to branch out and do bigger things, but there's a lot of people who just kind of made like funny romps and they just stuck in there.
Yeah.
I think rom-coms are is a trap for actors.
Mm.
It could send your career on a different trajectory real quick.
It depends on if the movie's good or not if the actor's good or not.
I mean, it's hard to make
Unless
a good
they're already
rom-com.
established. Like if they're already established and they do one, then it's whatever. But if they're a good actor but they're in a bad rom-com, then they'll struggle.
Oh boy.
Well, Karreem.
Kareem.
Meh. It's meh.
Oh.
All right.
Ow.
How you really feel?
No, it's all right. I would only recommend somebody watch it if you're doing like a study on this genre or this director. I wouldn't say, hey, go watch this movie. No, that's no.
What would it take for you to watch this again?
Again,
Yeah.
Lord, food. A lot of food in front of me. This, just invite me over for something to eat, and don't tell me you're about to play that movie.
Just slip it
Just
on in the
put it on.
background.
Right, just put it on, and it's like I'm already here. All right, okay.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that is episode 1 of our Christopher Nolan reality miniseries. Maybe in the future we'll do the sci-fi, his big sci-fi ones. It's funny because even if we'll do this, and then if we do the sci-fi ones, we're still leaving out Insomnia and Prestige. But that'll be all right. So yeah, our first Nolan miniseries episode down.
It's a good
Next
time.
we're doing Memento.
I've actually, I say this every time. It's another movie that I was able to start but not finish. So definitely, I'm almost fresh for this one.
I was gonna look it up to see what, because I remember watching it, but I don't remember what it was about. I was gonna look it up, but I said no,
Just going blind again.
Yeah, just gonna go in blind.
Yeah, but I will say you got to pay attention to it.
For real.
Put your phone down. Wait, were you on your phone for this one, Kareem? I already know the answer.
For the first 20 minutes, no, until
You're just like,
I,
all right, check
all
it out.
right, okay, I got it. I got it. I see what's happening.
You know why you didn't understand what that movie was about? You know why you didn't understand what that movie was about? Because you always be on that phone.
Did you ever-
I understood it.
Because you always be on that phone.
I understood it. It was just meh.
All right. Yeah. So, Tim, you got any plugs?
Oh, same old, same old. Still doing the music. The CEO Fighting Game Championship soundtrack album is doing great on Spotify. Definitely go check that out. The CEO Fighting Game Championship. I think I can't remember the name. It's so bad that I can't remember the name of the album. But it's if you search for the CEO Fighting Game Championship, it's doing real good. And I think that's happening this weekend. The actual championship. I'm doing over on my Patreon. I'm working on a remix for an artist that has been on multiple songs of mine, named Alice Knows Karate, and it's a remix of her song "She's Got Legs," but for whatever reason, I was in uh, a cameo mood, so now it's funk, and it's been fun to do. So that's what I got going on Patreon, and then the CEO album. I finally updated my information on one of these sites where they collect your royalties. So I'm hoping that works, so I can have some money. Because in October, Daddy Joe needs his school money, and just any help you can give. I was getting so used to not paying that school money. Start building a car. That's not on me though. That's also on my Patreon. Come and see my Volkswagen Rabbit, and give me money so I can work on it. I'm just saying, give me the money. I'm not shy. I am shy, but still. Yeah, the D&D Sluggers anywhere, except for the baseball team in South Carolina.
And Kareem, you still got your social media on hidden?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have social media.
This is how hidden he is. He won't even follow us back on Twitter.
Y'all follow me on Twitter?
See, Jesus Christ. Anyway, follow the podcast at SGBK Podcast on Twitter. Follow me personally at Tiffzilla on Letterboxd. That's all we got. We got.
Let me look on Twitter.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
See you next week for Memento.
I'm gonna go check Twitter.